is because it does get bumpy out there. And I don't want anything dropping off the truck because we can't stop to grab anything that is dropped off the truck. If you look right above you, there is a beautiful spotting guide. Now we may not see quite everything on that spotting guide today, but we usually have pretty good luck. If you guys are looking to get the best pictures you can, make sure you set that camera to action or sport mode because we will be moving and the animals will be moving. That's the best way to get some good pictures out there. Now with that being said, we've got our clearance. And our first stop is the Little Ituri Forest. The animals out here have exceptional camouflage, so keep those eyes peeled. Now on the right hand side, that smaller animal that's kind of bouncing around, that is a yellow-backed diker. And the larger striped animal, that is an okapi. The yellow-backed diker does have a big yellow spot in the middle of its back that you can probably see a little bit of. They have muscles underneath that spot that actually allow them to stand the fur up and make themselves look bigger when they're frightened. Now both of those okapi up there, they may look like they're related to the zebra because of all those stripes, but they're not. They're actually related to the giraffe. They have almost identical skull structures. And they have prehensile tongues. That just means long and bendy. They use those tongues to wrap around branches and pull leaves off of trees, just like giraffes. Up on the top of the hill to the right-hand side, that is a greater kudu. Now that one doesn't have any horns, which means it's a female. The greater kudu is the tallest forest antelope. They can actually jump 8 feet in the air despite their size. On the left-hand side, past the water, we actually have 2 black rhinoceros, one way up in the back and one that's a much better view coming up right here. A black rhino is the smallest species of rhino. They get about 3,000 pounds. They can run 35 miles an hour and they can actually gallop, which means all 4 of their feet are off the ground at the same time. Pretty impressive for something that size. A couple more kudu to the right hand side here, kind of up in the trees. This big black and white bird that's over near the water off to the right. It is a saddle-billed stork. They get their name from the saddle shape on the top of their beak, and their wingspan can actually get as wide as 10 feet. It's about as wide as the canopy above your heads. To the left, there's going to be another one of those saddle-billed stork in a little bit better view, and also some bongos. They're a different type of forest antelope. Both the male and female of this species are going to have those long spirally horns. They're swept back so they don't get tangled in the trees while the animals are running around. Our next stop is the Safi River Valley. Animals around here spend most of their time in and around the water. I do see the outline of a couple of Nile hippopotamus way down to the right. If you don't get a good view, don't worry, I'm going to try to find some more up ahead here. The Nile hippopotamus is one of the largest and most dangerous animals in all of Africa. Their enormous mouths are home to 18-inch incisor teeth. And while they can swim, they much prefer to sink down to the bottom. There we go. There's a bunch more on the left-hand side here. They much prefer to sink down to the bottom and walk along the bottom of the river. They can actually hold their breath for up to 8 minutes. That pink tinge to their skin is from a secretion that acts as a natural sunscreen. So the sunnier it is outside, the pinker the hippos get. Bird. Those big teeth in their mouths are actually not used for catching prey. They're herbivores, which means they only eat vegetation. They use those teeth just to defend their territories. And just a quick reminder, please make sure you stay seated as we go across this bridge because right underneath are a whole bunch of Nile crocodile.
Oh! You see it? You want Dad to do it for you?
I got it. Yo, this is so cool. Sorry about the bad filming.
Largest of the crocodilians. They can get 16 feet long and weigh 500 pounds. Their jaws are strong enough to crush bone, which means they'll eat just about anything they can get their mouths on. And they can eat up to 250 pounds of meat in a single day. This enormous tree to the right-hand side here is a baobab tree. They're leafless for about 9 months out of the year, but they can hold thousands of gallons of water that the animals out on the savannah can tap into and drink from. That's how they get their nickname, the Tree of Life.
Whoa.
Did you see the stuff running down there?
Our next up is the savannah, which has the highest population of animals out here on the reserve. So we should get some pretty good views down here. Now, directly past the rock wall to the right-hand side, there is a small herd of wildebeest. Wildebeest can gather in herds of up to 1 million individuals. And they'll travel up to 1,000 miles a year across the savannah to keep up with fresh vegetation. They're actually the second most densely populated mammal after humans. Off in the middle there is also some zebra and a few giraffe. Now these are Hartman's Mountain zebra. They have a dewlap, a flap of skin underneath their neck. That helps them regulate their temperature. They also have much smaller hooves than other types of zebra. That helps them navigate their rocky terrain that they call home. Those giraffes that we're going to get a better look at in just a minute grow up to 20 feet tall, making them the tallest land animal. On the left-hand side here, on top of the den, you might catch a glimpse of a spotted hyena. Now, a spotted hyena, well, it looks like a dog, isn't a dog at all. They're actually in their own family.
Oh, see it right there? Caught her, see it? See it right
They have an interesting hierarchy system. The lowest ranking female is going to be higher ranking than the highest ranking male.
See it.
Oh, there's one
While they're
walking down
seen
there,
as
too.
scavengers, they actually do most of their own hunting. They're just outcompeted by larger predators who often steal their meals. Going to be a better view of a giraffe on the left-hand side. Now, these are Maasai giraffe. We know that because of the rough edges to their spot pattern. And these cattle that are going to be on either side of us now, these are Ankoli cattle.
Oh,
Those
there's the
incredibly
giraffe.
long horns. Do look pretty heavy, but they actually only weigh about 3 to 15 pounds, thanks to a unique honeycomb structure inside that keeps them nice and light. The Ankoli cattle is a domestic species. They were domesticated about 6,000 years ago by the Watusi tribe.
Connor's up.
These earthen structures on either side of us now are termite mounds. They're made out of saliva, dirt, and dung. When they dry, they can get as hard as concrete. Other animals on the savannah will use them as both scratching posts and lookouts.
Oh, wow.
Gonna get a much better look at these zebra up here, and you'll be able to see that dewlap underneath their neck. Zebra, travel in groups called a dazzle. That's because their stripes dazzle and confuse predators. They can't tell where one zebra starts and another zebra ends. Now, speaking of their stripes, the zebra stripes are just as unique as our fingerprints. You can tell a zebra apart just because of their stripe pattern.
Giraffe.
Gonna get a much better look at one of these giraffes up here.
It's running.
Now, giraffes can run, while they tend to meander a little bit. Can run 35 miles an hour, actually. And despite being so tall and having such a long neck, they have the same amount of bones in their neck that we do, just 7 vertebrae. Some more wildebeest over here, and then on top of this outcropping, as soon as we come around this corner in a moment, there's going to be some sable antelope. They're usually hiding off in the back, so it's pretty special to get to see them up close. They are incredible creatures. They're the emblem of the reserve. They're known for their strength. There's 1 on the left-hand side and then another 3 on the right-hand side here. They're one of the only antelope known to stay and fight in a fight or flight situation. Those long curved horns actually prevent predators from being able to jump up on their backs. I'm starting to see some downed trees around here, which may mean we might have some luck finding elephants up ahead. Now, elephants are pretty elusive, but I have a couple spots that I usually have some good luck with.
No elephants so far.
Left-hand side on the top of that rock, I do see a mandrill. Mandrills are the largest monkey.
Oh.
Fully grown adult males can weigh about 100 pounds and females weigh 30 to 40. Now they're interesting as a monkey because they'll actually forage all the way from the forest floor up to the canopy. Most other species of monkey will only forage in one area. Now, I think I see some movement through the trees. I'm going to try to get us a better look up here in just a second. That's what I was looking for. The African elephant is the largest land animal. Fully grown adult males get up to 13,000 pounds. Now we can tell this is an African elephant because of the shape of its ears, shaped a little bit like the continent of Africa. That trunk on the front of his face, you saw him using it to feed himself. Now that is their nose, but they use it for pretty much anything they need, as a straw, as a hand.
Sorry guys, it's just very bumpy.
For comparison, the human body only has 600 muscles. All of those muscles allow that trunk to be strong enough to knock over a tree and still delicate enough to pick up a single penny. Gonna get one more glimpse of him through the trees there to the right hand side. Coming into some red clay pits now. Elephants will scratch their tusks along these pits to get some extra minerals. They'll also throw the clay up on their back with sand and water to give themselves some protection from the sun. You can see those tusk marks to the right-hand side right here.
Elephant tusk.
I know elephants are some of everybody's favorite animals out on the reserve, and we do want to protect the ones that we love. We can protect elephants like the ones to the left by recycling our electronics. Small electronics, like cell phones, contain a mineral called coltan that is mined in elephant territory. This causes them to encroach in on human areas. We recycle our old cell phones. When we're done with them, we can prevent more coltan mining. This keeps the elephants out in their habitat where they're safe and happy, and keeps us out of our habitat, out of their habitat.
Oh no, guys.
Elephants travel in matriarchal herds, that means led by a dominant female. Adult males will either live alone or in loose bachelor herds. Matriarchal herds, like the one to the left-hand side of the truck, are made up of related females, so mothers, daughters, sisters, cousins. Elephants don't need to be able to see their herd mates to know where they are. Their feet are so incredibly sensitive they can feel the vibrations of their herd mates' footsteps from up to 5 miles away. To the right-hand side, through these trees behind the grasses here, those are springbok. They're the smallest antelope that we have out on the reserve. Now they're named the springbok because they can spring 6 feet up into the air and 13 feet forward. That's enough to go through the truck over your heads.
Flamingos!
On the left-hand side, there is a flamboyance of greater flamingo. They are the largest and lightest pink of all species of flamingo. They get their color from the beta-carotene in their diet. They're actually born gray, and it takes them about a year and a half to turn that beautiful pink color. You'll notice some individuals out there have a little bit of gray on the back of their necks and on their legs. They were born last year, so they're not quite a year old yet.
You see like that one right there?
Oh, some of them are gray. I don't know if you guys can see them.
Alright guys, now there's something really exciting to the left-hand side, but they have extremely sensitive hearing.
Oh my god.
So try to keep your inside voices on. You guys have been awesome so far. But I want everybody to be able to get a really good look at these baby rhinos to the left-hand side
Oh,
here.
they're babies.
Now these are white rhinoceros, the largest and most social species of rhino. Those two babies, the one to the left-hand side is about 7 months old, and the one to the right-hand side is about 5 months old. They weigh about 250 pounds. When they grow up, they'll be about 5,000 pounds.
Wow.
White rhinos travel in groups called a crash. That's because they can't see very well. So when they're running around, they tend to crash into things. There's also an ostrich up ahead. Ostrich are the largest bird. They can't fly, but they can run 40 miles an hour.
Oh, dang it. It was there, but I can't get it.
I think it's right over here. You might, yeah, you can see it right there, bud.
Now there is also
I can't see.
a medium-sized rhino kind of right in the middle there.
It's gonna be on the other
That
side.
rhino's only about 1.5 years old, so there's actually 3 babies in that group.
Oh, there's a cheetah. There's a cheetah.
Up on the ridge there, I do see a couple of cheetah. Cheetah are the fastest land animal. They can run 60 miles an hour for short bursts. They use their long tail as a rudder to help them steer while they're going that fast. Actually, the only big cat that hunts during the day. They've got black markings under their eyes. They kind of work like sunglasses to protect their eyes from the sun. This rock formation up ahead here is called a kopie. Right on top, there is an African lion.
See the lion?
Lion is one of the largest predators out on the savannah. They live in groups called a pride with one male and several female lionesses. The lionesses go out at night and hunt, while the male stays behind to protect the pride. They hunt at night because at night their vision is 6 times better than human vision. They sleep for about 16 to 20 hours a
Oh, there's a
day.
female.
That's not because they're lazy. They're just trying to conserve their energy. They have an extremely high
There's a
metabolism.
female.
It takes all of their energy to go out at night and hunt.
There's a female.
One more lioness up here
Oh, up on that rock, right?
on the top.
Oh, right there. There. Ah.
On the left-hand side, there's a few warthogs. Warthogs have 2 sets of tusks.
Ooh.
The curved one they use to dig out these burrows that you see down the front, and the bottom one, they're straight out. They use those for defense. Once their burrows are dug out, they actually back into them so their tusks are facing outward to protect them.